Good evening, this is Atmospheric Alex, and welcome back to another tropical weather outlook and discussion here. And this is going to be it for our next potential upcoming tropical wave that could track a little bit further south than the majority of them have this hurricane season. Before getting into all the details, though, we're going to take a very quick look at Tropical Storm Lorenzo right now, as it has developed over the past few days over portions of the eastern Atlantic. And you can see here, it is falling apart really rapidly. We only have a couple bursts of convection that remains intact. So Lorenzo is anticipated to continue moving off to the northeast and then potentially make a loop-de-loop and head back down to the southwest over the next few days. So the track of this thing is going to be wild and crazy. Here's a look at the National Hurricane Center's cone of uncertainty on Lorenzo. You can see it's going to go off to the northeast like this, but past this time it is anticipated to make it back down to the southwest. At that time, Lorenzo will no longer be a tropical system, though, which is why you're not seeing that curve back down to the southwest again. So now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our basin-wide satellite imagery here to see if any features, catch eyes or whatever. We're talking about here a pretty large tropical wave that is coming off of Africa, and this is going to be the one that we're really going to have to watch out for over the next week or even more than a week as it transverses off to the west, potentially into the Caribbean, but confidence at this time is incredibly low as to what could happen with it. We do know a couple of things, though. As we take a look at some of our analysis here, our sea surface temperatures are still very warm, if not even hot, across portions of the Caribbean right now. Upwards of 30 to 31 degrees Celsius, so maybe even a couple readings in the upper 80s in terms of Fahrenheit, so very favorable waters out there for tropical development. And our upper ocean heat content is just absolutely going off the charts still. Again, we're seeing a lot of warm water going really deep into the ocean here with consistent values across the board between 150 to 200 OHC. So if we do get, say, our tropical wave, down here, that does sneak up into this area, we're going to have a lot of issues if it can develop. Again, key phrase, if it can develop. Now, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some other external factors. We're going to look at wind shear here, where a tropical wave is right down here, and you can see it's going to have a bit of difficulties later on this week as it transverses across a weak but a noticeable tropical upper tropospheric trough right within here, and a strong belt of wind shear associated with it. But it looks like it does potentially sneak under it a little bit, and it seems like this feature actually breaks off a little bit, which is interesting. And here you go, you have your anticyclonic feature trying to track through, and wind shear becomes incredibly unfavorable just to the north of our system here. So that's going to be something to really watch out for. We may be talking about a lot more uncertainty than previously forecasted, which wasn't a lot to begin with. Our dry air issues, we could have some of those too. You can see a big plume of relative humidity values here between 20 to 40%, so not conducive at all in terms of moisture. But as we continue it on through, there are a few moisture pockets that really try to get going, but there is just so much dry air pouring off of Africa. This wave is really going to have to pull a miracle to survive or even develop just before our Antilles here. I do think that maybe a remnant vorticity could make it into the Caribbean, and maybe then will it do something. But until that point, not really seeing too much. But you can see moisture pocket getting really well established in your southern Caribbean here, and that seems a lot more realistic. But of course, this is over 10 days out. I'm just kind of giving a overview, if you will, synopsis. Again, not saying there'll be a tropical storm here, but just saying that we're going to have to keep an eye out. On our European ensemble guidance here, as we take a look here, you can see our tropical wave right down here. And we don't have much member support. There's only one member there that shows development. But as we get into the Caribbean, you're going to notice a big explosion of members right within here. You can see it here. So this is going to have to be an area that we're going to have to keep our eyes on. And if you remember from earlier, this is an area that has upwards of 200 ocean heat content. So a lot of really warm, deep ocean waters right there that is going to have to be monitored, and a lot of these members bring it so far down on the pressure. We even have a member shoving it down to 919 millibars. Not a forecast at all, but again, conditions can sustain a system of that intensity, so we'll have to wait and see. How about our main European model here? Well, you just saw it a minute ago, but you could see our wave as it moves on through, and then into our Caribbean here, where it gains a little bit more moisture, a little bit more structure, and it does eventually run out of time, but does become a very brief system there, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Again, I'm gonna sound like a broken record in this video, but I'm trying to look at as much data as possible to see what happens. Our AI ensemble here from our European model, you can see, again, if we're gonna see development, we have a window of opportunity right within here, but a greater window of opportunity arguably right within here. So we have window 1 and window 2. This pen is freaking out tonight, my goodness, but you could see where our windows of development are, and I do think window 2 will be our greatest chance, but our AI model is still not fully sold on development. We see a few members, but really it's not that impressive at this current point in time, but things can and definitely will change, and then there's no point looking further. Our main AI model here takes our wave and completely weakens it and kills it off, showing nothing more than maybe a very low-end invest system or area of investigation really at that point. And yeah, really just goes poof like that. As we move on through with our GFS ensemble, aka our GEFS model, it is really high and dry across the entire area here. We do see a little bit of development, but really the models are not sold as of yet. Again, I really do think that this area in here would be the area of development, but really, I mean, it's just the same song and dance between most of the other models. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at our main GFS model, and I would strongly suggest that you do not take this seriously, but I'm just trying to show you all a possible scenario, if we do see this wave actually develop in our most favorable conditions. You can see it absolutely explodes here, and again, it shows a category 5, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put a big red X over this, because this likely will not happen. It's just, this is too far out. There's too many variables behind the system, so I really do not expect anything to occur of this magnitude just yet. Now, as we take a look at Weather Nerds here, we're taking a look at some of our ensemble, some of our AI ensemble models here. This starting off is our FNV3 model, and again, you could see that area down there, that second window of development. You could see quite a few members that are developing this system, but again, that isn't even half of our members. That's kind of something to note. So our signal, I would not say is strong, but it is apparent, and that is exactly why I am making this video. Now, our GENC, our Google ensemble here, you could see earlier today it actually showed nothing, and now we are starting to see a little bit of percolation here with some of our members, trying to show a bit of a weaker system, so that is going to be something to watch. Now, with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my little corner of the weather community, and share this video with friends and family or on social media to spread the word a bit if you wish. And even feel free to leave a comment in the section below if you found this video entertaining or informative. And you all have a wonderful night, everyone, and stay weather aware just in case this future system does anything. And yes, I will be watching the National Hurricane Center, as a 10% area probably will be introduced in yellow at least tomorrow.